I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you, and your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. If you want to work with me, the links are in the description, and subscribe for daily manifestation content. Texting your SP. Okay. Should you text your SP? I'm going to answer you at the beginning of this video and then continue with the explanation. But if you want to click off and you just want the short answer is you can do whatever you want when manifesting anything in this life. But it's all about who you are being when you do this thing. But if I had to give you some sort of mathematic, 95%, no, you know what? 99.999999999% of people who text their SP, especially in the waiting period, 99% of them mess up their manifestation and are not doing it from a place of abundance, but from a place of lack. Okay, so in any situation, when you're trying to manifest anything, if you have to ask, should I? You shouldn't. So many people throw around the idea of inspired action. Okay? I like to throw around the term required action. Because when you think about going with the flow, it is true that what feels more natural to you, it's more authentic, and therefore, if it feels like an authentic thing to ask for this girl's number, to text your ex-boyfriend, to go out on this date with this new person, but you're afraid that your SP is going to find out, right? It's important to stay authentic, right? But if you are not in the correct state, if you are not in the wish fulfilled, then maybe the authentic thing could be to show up at their workplace with binoculars 5 yards away from their office window. It's like, why the hell do you need the binoculars in the first place, bitch? Like, what? They're right there. They can see you. You're not Rambo in the jungle, okay? But now, thanks to your stalker ass, they think the FBI's out to get him. Oh shit, I'm in the Epstein files. If you are in the wrong state, then what feels natural to you could be to text your SP. But just beware, because you could be falling into a trap. So, how do you know if it's the right thing? Well, don't focus so much on the action, but focus on the root. Focus on, where is this coming from? Focus on what is going on internally. And like I've said in previous videos, ladies, gentlemen, another word for your imagination is the internal consciousness. Okay? You see, I wanted to tell you that all you got to do is focus on what you're imagining, But when I say that, you guys start thinking about Mickey Mouse, Jimmy Neutron, Goofy, Cinderella, etc., etc., etc. But guys, I'm gonna have to tell you guys for the millionth time, grow the fuck up, okay? When we say imagination in this community, we mean whatever it is that you are thinking about. Because whether you are trying to solve a math problem or whether you are trying to remember where was the last place you left your wallet. If someone says, okay, trace your steps, you lost your wallet, where could it be? Do you remember the last place that you saw it? Immediately an image pops up, right? But when we are trying to imagine an SP, we have to get the candles, okay? We got to get the pentagram, the goat's blood, okay? And then we have to make sure that we capture the tooth of an Egyptian well. And then finally, we got all the ingredients for our special visualization. And then we do a couple of 6, 7, 8 breaths. Finally. Oh, yeah. Yes. And then the fucking boogers are spilling out. And then we can breathe the proper way to get into our visualization technique. Guys, please stop. Okay? That's enough. I'm tired of this shit. Okay? Imagination. Look, if you have to, stop calling it the imagination. Start calling it your consciousness. Whatever it is that you're thinking about. Because I've always said that you don't have to script a scene. You don't have to think very detailistically about your end. Just go to your end in your head, and an imagination will pop up. An image will be generated. Okay? So back to should you text your ex. When you see what it is that you're imagining, when you see what it is that is going on in your head, the inner monologue, aka the default inner conversations, right? As some might refer to it as. When you see what it is you're thinking about, if it's nothing but this isn't working, who was that girl on his Snapchat story? He typically texts back in 5 hours, right? So should I double text him? That probably is telling me that it's best that you don't text him from that state of mind. But if you happen to be enjoying yourself, you went almost a whole day or several days not thinking of SP. SP who? What is that? You went to a steakhouse. Okay? Matter of fact, you felt so grateful. You went behind the kitchen counter and you said to the chef, no. Let me do it. Okay? And then they're like, ¿Cómo? No habla inglés. Déjame hacerlo. And you didn't even speak Spanish, and all of a sudden you're a fucking Mexican god. Okay? And you get the knife, you're parting steaks for people because you just feel good. Okay? There's no, what is SP doing? Okay? There's no, fuck, I miss her. There's no, he probably went back with Angelica. You are coming from a state of, you're okay either way. If that is what's going on internally, then yeah, what the fuck? If you have some sort of idea to text him, to text her, then do it. But if you even have to watch this video, okay, Now, I'm glad that you came because, yeah, I mean, you're supporting the channel. Great. But in reality, guys, you should only be coming here to see my sexy ass, okay? Because you shouldn't, if you have to ask about an action, it's not an inspired action. So that's why I like the term required action, because if it's something that, like, you know, think of it like in driving down the highway, okay? A lot of times we don't want to go to this certain lane, or we don't want to have to move to the left. We love the right lane, or some of us like the left lane, right? But when there's fucking cones there's a construction, you know, or there's a blockage, we have to move, okay? If we don't move, we're gonna see Jesus a lot more earlier than we expected, okay? So that right there is a required action. We don't have no choice, okay? And you're probably like saying, well, what the fuck? What if I go a whole month without getting any idea to text them? Well, first of all, if you're even asking that question, you are coming from the state of lack of not being in the end, okay? Because again, when you're asking questions like that and you're saying, when am I going to be able to text them? You are coming from a state where you probably have been eating your ice cream in your pajamas, thinking about maneuvering ways to text him, when you should be focused on living your life, okay? I've said this before. You want to know what the wish fulfilled really feels like? Go to Genesis. The Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested. He made the elephants. He made the trees, the land, the earth, light, darkness, heroin, poo-poo. He made everything, okay? Imagine all the work that he had to put in to his beautiful creation. He didn't do it just for the hell of it. I like to think that he did it because he knew it was something that needed to be done, right? Because it was something that he wanted. He wanted to create this universe of sexy people like me and sexy people like you, ladies, gentlemen, right? But if you really think about it, what is the importance of the seventh day? What is the importance of Sabbath? It's that he was able to just sit back and look at his beautiful creation, like Thanos after he snapped everybody into oblivion with his gangster ass, right? Well, once you do your imaginal act, once you say your self-pedestalization, once you decide it's done, I have them already, all you have to do is not worry about what is the next step in order for me to get my SP. If there is something that you need to do with your hands, with your mouth, with your feet, if there's a place you need to go, if there's something you need to accomplish, if there's perhaps a purchase that you need to buy, if a UFO needs to be resurrected from the inner caves of Area 51, it will happen. All you got to do now is rest. The best way to think of it is, what is it that you can do right now in your 3D? Instead of thinking about, should I text him? What is it right now that you can do in your 3D that would mimic or match what you would do if you were retired, if you had enough money that you never had to work a single day in your life, and that you had no other issues in your dating life, that you were with the person of your dreams, or in the situation romantically of your dreams? Because I know a lot of you people can also be man whores like me, who want a whole roster, want a whole freaking fantasy football league, right? Whatever the case may be, if you already had all those things accomplished, you know damn well the quest is over. You're complete. You are retired. You're Thanos on the farm, okay? What is your retirement plan, right? It's like that scene in Endgame where War Machine, where they say, so Thanos snapped all these people just so he could go live on a farm by himself and cook plants all day like an old grandpa. And War Machine is like, huh, that's cute. It's like he did all this shit for nothing. He went from being Hitler and Al Capone to all of a sudden just, being the grandpa from Up, right? It's like, what is your version of that? How would you be doing? Would you be watching Paramount Plus all day and watching season 1 of Californication all the way to season 7? Would you be knitting sweaters because you wanted to finally learn how to make your own clothing? I don't know. Would you be starting your own business? Would you just be laying around the house sleeping all day, right? Obviously, some of you guys don't have that privilege because you are still working, but on your days off, are you spending time looking at your phone waiting for a notification? Or are you enjoying it to the best of your ability and almost going to your end of what you would be doing if you had the romance of your dreams, of the financial situation of your dreams, just like we would do when we were kids and we would play house and act like what we would want to be like if we had a marriage, if we had our own house. Even in those, toy cars that they had at Walmart for fucking $50, do you think that kid is looking at the toy car and saying, yeah, but this is not the real thing, fuck, I gotta wait 25 years to get my Lamborghini? No, he's already there right now in his head, so go there right now. And some of the things that you would be doing if you were retired and you had your SP, you could do right now. Like me, I'm fixing to retire from my current job, but on my days off, I act like I'm already retired. I'm watching my streaming service. I've always had this weird thing where, like, I told myself I never have time to catch up on, shows. Everybody's saying, like, dude, you gotta watch Walking Dead, bro. And did you see episode of SpongeBob, the one where he was like, no, I haven't seen shit. Okay, you swear, with what time, motherfucker? With over here working Elon Musk hours. What the fuck? But I've always said that if I was retired, which I'm in my head, I already am, right? But if I was retired, I would be just, spending it like a grandfather, right? Just watching my shows, right? That's how my mother is. She earned her retirement. She was a teacher for years, right? And now she just enjoys it watching all these shows, right? And so that's my thing. I would just be watching a bunch of movies, shows, and I love to go out to eat. Restaurants, and that's really what I would be doing, and that's what I do on my off days. I go out to eat, or I watch a show, and then I hang out with you guys and give you guys the reality of your dreams. And that's something that your boy Neo will always be doing, because he's the best fucking manifestation coach out there, right? But go to your Sabbath, go to your inn, and don't be worrying about texting, because if you have to think about an action, it's not inspired action, it's not required action, it's action that will fuck things up. So if you want to go more in depth with your situation, guys, what the heck are you waiting for? The links are in the description. I am Neil Larthos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say, and I know you're gonna be okay.